On today's show, we'll meet a registered dietitian and nutrition and dietetic technician program chair, clinical coordinator, and lead instructor to talk about her role here at MATC. We'll also cover some relaxing spring break activities like taking a riverside walk or making Jell-O shots. All that and more coming up on MATC Now. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MATC Now. As always, I'm your host, Hannah Tahtinen. Today, I am joined by my co-host, Dr. Eric Goss. Hello, Dr. Goss. How you doing?
Doing great, Hannah. How are you?
Oh, I am just glad to be here. So, to get this started, can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do here at MATC?
Sure. I'm the operations director for the healthcare pathway, so I work here at the downtown campus, supervising all the work that goes on in the pathway, including coaching, advising, curriculum, working with students, faculty, really just all the day-to-day operations. In addition, I am the co-chair of the Health and Safety Committee for the campus and for the whole district, actually, and we are working on making sure that we are prepared to handle the COVID pandemic and make that we provide a safe work environment for our faculty, staff, and students.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll meet the chief of the MATC Times to learn a bit about their services. But first, we're going to hear from the folks at MATC's CareerHub to discover how to use their resources to find future employers.
MATC's CareerHub is located in the S building of the downtown MATC campus in room S101. Here they have tons of resources that can be utilized by students in finding themselves a career.
As the student employment coordinator, I am kind of a HR office for student employment here at MATC. I handle all hiring for student employment, job opportunities on campus, either creating them or helping students find opportunities and find jobs on campus. I handle and work with students for their onboarding process, so getting their beginning paperwork done, orientations, getting them training, and then getting them placed into their positions. How the student employment kind of works is kind of twofold. We've got the MATC side of it, as in like the faculty staff side, and then we've got for the students part of it. For the students, when they come in, they're just looking for an opportunity, something to work on campus. We try to place them in opportunities that are going to kind of grow their skills and maybe even be related to their program area. On the other end of it, I'm trying to work with different faculty and staff around campus to try to create those positions on campus, so to create more opportunities in different areas. So there's a good variety of opportunities for students to work in different positions that would hopefully be related to their program and help them learn and grow their skill set before they graduate.
These resources are free and available to any MATC student who is struggling with finding their way into the workplace.
As an employment development specialist, is like the title says, I have to be able to prepare students to get ready for the workforce, helping students get employment, helping them with career research, career information, salaries, helping them, to get their resumes, their interview skills all set up, and helping them, sign up for Handshake. Handshake is the platform that we have where they can build a network with other students and network with employers. So I help them connect with employers.
The CareerHub service is meant to help students be fully prepared when reaching out to potential future employers.
It's helped me a lot, and it's helped out other students as well. I think when they see another student in front of them helping them out, they kind of feel more comfortable knowing that I've been in their shoes before. It's helped me out a lot. Like I said, our counselors are amazing, both CPLE and the career services. So if I've ever needed any help with my program, if I'm having concerns or doubts, it's easy for me to speak with them.
Hi, I'm Victoria McGee, Editor-in-Chief of the student newspaper for MATC, the MATC Times. The MATC Times is the student independent newspaper. The newspaper has been around for about 61 years, and we have student writers, student photographers, student artists, and what we try to do is get information out that will interest students and the MATC community as a whole. Here at the Times, since we're a volunteer-only space, anyone from any program in the school is welcome to join the Times, whether you want to write, be a photographer, a graphic artist, or even a digital analyst to help us with our website. We accept anyone who's interested in showing off their skills and improving their talent.
So we have like a culinary that they share one of their favorite recipes and they tell you how to make it in the paper and then their photo is there. So even though maybe they're not writing or like out to like take like interviewing or taking the photos, they are still participating in their own way, and that is by like explaining their own recipe, teaching you how to make it. So even though they're in the paper, they're teaching you how to make a recipe, so it applies to both the paper and to them. Right. So we have different things where it's just kind of like, it applies to both a little bit, so you're helping out with the paper in their own unique way.
Anything that is published by the MATC Times, we obviously love the fact that our students can provide that information on their resume for a future career, really not just in the communication field, but in any field that will need use of their creative talents. We are an award-winning newspaper. In fact, we just received information from the Wisconsin Newspaper Association that 3 of our staff members have won awards for this school year. I can't announce their names yet because it's embargoed until they're announced publicly the second week in April. That will be announced by the Wisconsin Newspaper Association on all of their websites, in our newspaper, as well as our website and social media sites. We're very proud of the students who have won these awards. A wonderful benefit of being staff on the MATC Times is that we get an opportunity to attend numerous journalism conferences throughout the year, where students will get a chance to learn from some of the best writers and photographers, not just in the United States, but in the world. We just recently attended a virtual conference where some of our keynote speakers included Major Garrett from CBS News, Lindsay Davis from ABC, and Ashley Parker, who's a reporter with the Washington Post. I don't think you can get this type of close relationship with some of the best professionals in the field of journalism without joining the MATC Times. So I would encourage anyone who's looking at getting that extra bit of information about photography, writing, illustration to come and join the MATC Times. One thing that I would like to emphasize is that it's really imperative that if anyone is looking into getting into some type of creative position in the future as a profession, that they really look into joining the MATC Times, because it's something that can help your writing skills. It's an area where you can increase your talent in photography and artistry. And also you get to join a community of students who are willing to help, who are willing to do whatever it takes to help you improve and to get out a good product. So I encourage anyone who's interested in joining an organization like that to consider the MATC Times.
There are so many opportunities available to students. We here at MATC Now urge you to use these resources to further your education and future careers.
Here in the studio today, we have MATC's own Heidi Cotty, who is a registered dietitian and nutrition and dietetic technician, program chair, clinical coordinator, and lead instructor, and an expert on wellness, nutrition, sanitation, and food safety. Hi, Heidi. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much for asking. How are you today?
I am great.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Well, I know what you do here at MATC because we work together, but could you please tell our viewers what your job is?
Sure. So I am the program chair and lead faculty for the Nutrition and Dietetic Technician program. And we also have a certificate program for the dietary manager as well as a bilingual dietary manager program. So much of my work is coordinating the activities. I also am faculty, so I teach classes, and I coordinate the accreditation of the programming as well.
Wonderful. Can you tell me about what sort of careers students who pass through the program or your own students find themselves in after completing at MATC?
Certainly. Well, it depends if they're the certificate students who are dietary managers. They would go and work as food service managers in long-term care facilities, hospitals, in school food service or other institutional food service. The two-year associate degree program, Nutrition and Dietetic Technician, they would be working in community nutrition education, WIC offices, UW Extension, as well as any other food management. They're credentialed to do that work as well. So a variety of different spaces, and it's really super exciting. Nutrition has a lot to offer.
Sounds like a lot of opportunities.
Definitely.
How has COVID impacted how you work with students?
Well, following the CDC guidelines, the guidelines put forth to us that Dr. Goss, you give us, and making sure that we're doing our social distancing, we're educating the students on that and making sure that they're staying safe. Much of our instruction has been virtual. However, due to our credentialing requirements, we do need to do lab work and clinical experiences. So we make sure that we're following the lab requirements, the procedures for staying safe, socially distanced, cleansing, and that type of thing. And we're in clinical, we're following the hospital or facility guidelines and procedures and such. So making sure that we're following those protocols as well to make sure that the students feel safe.
In this COVID era, can the same thing be expected for, let's say, health inspectors? Are there any sort of adjustments in the COVID era to how those individuals work at their job?
Certainly, all of the procedures that we typically follow in food service really haven't changed in terms of cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, all of that.
Right.
Much of what has changed in terms of a health inspector, which also has more environmental sciences education in addition to the work that we do, is that they're ensuring that the restaurants are following appropriate social distancing and serving and delivery of the food. You know, in restaurant management, they've had to become very creative in the work and the way in which they connect with their customers, and they're working with their clients, making sure they're getting their food out to them safely.
How has COVID changed protocols for older adults living in long-term care facilities?
So this is really one of the more discouraging elements of COVID with regards to living in long-term care facilities. We talk about the benefit of eating in community and how that increases one's intake, and we really want to encourage that as nutrition experts, as food service managers in facilities. They've required now that each individual eat in their own rooms, so that can impact their overall intake, their wellness, the nutrition that they're getting in. Of course, they're getting their meals served to them, they're getting the nutrition that they need, but they're missing out on that community element.
So I have a kind of two-parter question here. First, just a question for you, and then I'll open it up to both of you. Can you remind me, what is that saying that you tell your kids about how to stay safe in the COVID era?
Sure.
And then after that, I want to hear from both of you. For those on the fence about a vaccination in the COVID era, what words of advice do you have to say to them?
Certainly. So since this began, I have 3 little ones at home, and I really encourage what we do in food service, which is washing your hands.
Right.
That is the #1 way to keep yourself safe in all of this, keeping our food safe, but really in the COVID era, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and we're not going to the ER. That's what I'm telling them.
That's great. And how about advice for anyone who's a little hesitant?
The vaccines are safe. These are tested technologies that have been used previously. I've been vaccinated fully, and if you can handle a 5-hour nap the next day, I did okay, you know, as far as having side effects and whatnot. If you have any pre-existing conditions or anything else, you need to get this vaccine. Both the 2-shot variety and the 1-shot variety are safe. They are highly effective and are the first step in really getting this pandemic behind us.
Certainly, it's important to protect not only yourself, but others as well. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Heidi. It's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, if it's been a while since you last visited our downtown campus, you might be in for a surprise. Our on-campus correspondent, Tyler, joins us live to show off the newly renovated Create Pathways offices. Hi, Tyler, what's new?
Hi, thanks, Hannah. I'm here in the Create Pathways office, which is room 204 in the C building. I'm here with Nicole Oglesby, the Create Pathways Student Success Liaison. I had to write it down because I wanted to make sure I got it right. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what is the Create Pathways program?
So the pathway helps to ensure the academic success of a student, whether they need academic advising with assistance with course registration or even counseling.
How many pathways are there?
There is actually a total of 7 pathways.
What are those 7 pathways?
It is in this office, the C204, it is the Creative Arts pathway, General Education pathway in this office. Then outside of this office, there is the Healthcare pathway, the Business pathway, the STEM pathway, and then the Manufacturing pathway.
And are all of those services available online?
They are available online. We are also available here in this office and online, and our hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Are the other offices the same thing, or is that just for this office?
So now the other offices, some of them may have slightly different hours. However, if a student is not sure of what pathway they're in, they can actually go out on the MATC website under the locator to locate their pathway. And they'll also be able to get information regarding the hours and also how to go onto their virtual office as well.
How do these pathways help students?
They help the students by, again, ensuring their academic success. If a student is let's just say a new student or even a current student, if they're unsure about what courses they need to take, they can get linked with an advisor, help with course registration. Even if they have questions regarding what particular pathway they should be in, they can speak with a career coach outside of the pathways that will be able to direct them as well.
So what's the first step a student should take to get involved with the pathway program?
So they can actually go out on the MATC website.
Thanks for showing us around, Tyler.
For those looking to spend their break a little closer to home, a great spring adventure can be found in your own backyard. Just ask Milwaukee's Urban Ecology Center, where outdoor fun and environmental education go hand in hand.
And if you need any help getting where you're going around town, MATC has a program that can make transportation much easier.
Living in the city doesn't mean you can't enjoy the outdoors. Milwaukee is home to over 150 parks and natural areas, yet many residents may be unfamiliar with them or inexperienced with the many ways they can be enjoyed. That's where the Urban Ecology Center comes in.
The Urban Ecology Center is an amazing place. We inspire people to connect with one another in cities out in nature. And so I don't know what's more fun than that. We have 3 locations. Right now we're at Riverside Park in the heart of the east side. We have another location, Washington Park on the west side of the city, and then Menominee Valley, which is on the south side. And each of our locations are in the heart of a public park.
With winter finally on its way out, the Urban Ecology Center is excited to see more people enjoying nature and the start of a new season.
Spring is all about things emerging and budding and coming back to life. And not to say that things were dead, but they were certainly dormant. I can't help but notice people have an extra spring in their step. This time of the year, we have people out hiking, biking. We are going to be looking for pond critters. We'll be out in the river pretty soon. I mean, we have things that go on every single week for our regulars. We have bird walks at all 3 branches. Whether you're an avid birder, never done it before, you can show up at our branches on a weekly basis and learn the basics for how to do that. Middle May, end of May, we have so many opportunities for adults, and I mean, in particular, you'll see us on the Milwaukee River, floating downtown in canoes and kayaks all the time. Canoe and Brew is a really neat program where we partner with Lakefront Brewery, canoe or kayak on the river, and the program with a cold beer, coffee and canoe for those that are early risers. You get the point. Lots of things to do on the water.
For those who don't have outdoor equipment of their own, the Urban Ecology Center is a great resource.
Our equipment lending program, which is available for our members, which we have a discount for students, where you can come and you can borrow any of our equipment for free. That's included in the membership. So biking, camping gear is utilized quite a bit, especially by students during that spring break time, canoes and kayaks.
Beyond just helping people get outdoors, the Urban Ecology Center also offers plenty of opportunities for those who want to get more involved in their communities, meet like-minded people, and help care for their local green spaces.
Volunteers are at the heart of everything that we do at the centers, and we would not be able to operate without them. So come April, we have experiences at all 3 locations where volunteers can come and participate in actually being stewards of the parks. So you actually do our dirty work for us, meaning you're gonna pull invasive species, you're gonna plant plants, and you're really gonna take care of the park. We always are looking for volunteers. We're finding that people are constantly making connections in the volunteer opportunities that they're engaging in. And our staff also just really enjoy engaging with volunteers. They become part of our community. They sometimes become part of our staff over time, but most importantly, they become part of the UEC family.
Getting outdoors isn't just a great way to connect with your community, it's also a great way to reconnect with yourself.
The biggest benefit of getting outside, in my opinion, is just to rejuvenate your soul, breathe in the fresh air. Of course, the physical activity of just moving your body. I think for people too, just to relax your mind and totally decompress in a virtual world that we're in nowadays, where everyone's behind a computer or a laptop. You know, you're not doing that when you're walking out in the park, and so I think that's really good for your soul and your brain.
While the Urban Ecology Center's facilities remain closed for the moment, it's still easy to access all their information and resources virtually.
Volunteer opportunities, calendar of events is on our website, urbanecologycenter.org. We also have an amazing blog that can be found there, virtual platform where you can engage with our staff, our volunteers, our scientists. Everything's online, and I encourage everybody to go there to find out more.
MATC provides students with reliable programs. One of the great programs is UPass. UPass helps students get to school and home safely riding the Milwaukee County Transit System.
My name is Eric Zimans. I'm the Director of Student Life here at Milwaukee Area Technical College. Functionally, I oversee all student life operations, including student events, student orgs, and the coordinators and staff that support those activities. Additionally, we assist with student resources, not limited to, but including our UPass program, Dream Keepers, and other resources that we partner with through the Student Resource Center. A UPass is a card that is from Milwaukee County Transit System that allows you to ride the bus unlimited amount of times throughout the year. You have to be an enrolled MATC student taking 6 or more post-secondary credits, and that's the technical term for your credit hours, but they're basically college-level credit hours, and you have to have at least 6 or more in order to get one for free. I recommend checking out the Student Life webpage in general. We have all the information about the UPass as well as the other services that we provide there. That will give you the information regarding how to get one and the qualifications that you need to get one, but it's essentially the 6 credit hours is all you need. So Student Life does manage other resources for students for student support. Those include the Fast Care healthcare option through Freighter in the Medical College of Wisconsin. It includes Dreamkeepers support, which Dreamkeepers is an emergency grant that's issued one time to a student based off of a need. We also offer some just general triage stuff, such as transitional housing if a student has lost their housing, as well as meal ticket vouchers and other things. So if you have a need or a need for support, you can always come to Student Life and we'll help you out with anything that we can. So recently, Milwaukee County Transit System has made some improvements to their lines that service at Milwaukee Area Technical College campuses. Those improvements allow for less times between buses and less of a wait, so that way students can get to classes quicker and more efficiently and on time. For scheduling, I do recommend looking at the Milwaukee County Transit System website, but overall it's a very reliable source of transportation that is really pretty accurate from the statistics that we see from the transit system.
If you're in need of a U-Pass or interested in one, visit the MATC website to get more information.
Well, Hannah, isn't it nice to be thinking about warmer weather and a walk in the park again?
Oh, absolutely. For more information on U-Passes, visit matc.edu/student life resources. During spring break, there will probably be a day or two where a few of you might enjoy a drink or two. For a fun twist, Chef James is making Jell-O shots.
Well, Hannah, spring break is right around the corner, and a lot of students who are over the drinking age of 21 like to relax and have some fun before they have to come back and finish out the semester. So today, I'll be showing you guys how to make a fun and easy drink to make at home over spring break. Remember though that you have to be safe while drinking. Always make sure you're not drinking on an empty stomach, drink plenty of water, and overall, drink responsibly. Now that that's said, let's say goodbye to winter and Jell-O to spring with Jell-O shots. You're going to need Jell-O, water, any type of alcoholic drink, a bowl, and some small containers with lids, along with a mixing utensil. The first thing you'll need to do is make sure you have boiling water. We boiled this beforehand to save you the trouble of literally watching water boil for 10 minutes. Now, take the bowl and your Jell-O packet and empty the whole packet into the bowl. Now, we are using lime Jell-O here, but it's totally up to you to use whatever flavor you would like. Then, add 1 cup of your boiling water into the bowl and start mixing. Here we go. And of course, always be careful with boiling water. All right, there we go. Once it's added, you're going to want to mix until the powder is dissolved. Now, if you are going to use a flavored alcohol, you might want to use instead something like clear gelatin sheets so you can get the Jell-O texture without the added flavor if you want the flavor of the alcohol you've chosen to show through more. Once it's all dissolved into the water, which you'll kind of be able to tell from how the spoon feels in the bowl and if you can see any particles around, you're going to add 1 cup of alcohol. If you've made Jell-O before, you would recognize that it's usually a cup of boiling water and a cup of cold. We are substituting the alcohol for the cold water. Now, again, we decided to use a plain vodka for these Jell-O shots, but you can really use any type you would like, though usually something along these lines is what you'd go for because you wouldn't want to put a Kahlua or other cream liqueur into your Jell-O shots. Now, once that's all mixed in, you're gonna wanna grab your little containers so that you can make these into shots and not just a big bowl of alcoholic Jell-O. That could be fun for another time though. Once you've got your containers out and ready, you can get ready to just pour the mixture in. Now, you're gonna pour these in and wanna make sure to leave a little room at the top so they don't overflow or anything in the fridge. You just pretty near the top, but not over full. Now, while we're pouring, I want to say that if you make these at home, awesome. And you can customize even like the ratio of alcohol to water, but please note that like not everything's measured perfectly, so it can be hard to gauge like how much is in them if you are having them made by someone else. And even if you made them yourself, they can be really easy to lose track of like how many you've had. So just make sure to be responsible about your consumption. Once all the containers are filled, you're going to put the lids on. This is why we don't overfill, because they might spill if they were to fill full. And you're going to stick them into the fridge for about a couple hours. That's how long it will take for them to set and become everyone's favorite, Jell-O. But we prepared in advance, and we've got some Jell-O shots already here for you. So let's stick these in the fridge and grab the others. And here they are. Already made, delicious Jell-O shots. And that's it. Jell-O shots for everyone over 21. It's an easy way to make something delicious while you have time off of school to relax and kick back. And again, remember, always drink responsibly. Make sure you eat and drink enough water while you're drinking alcohol, and never ever drink and drive. Now go enjoy your time off of school, everyone. Back to you in the studio.
Jell-O shots are a nice way to keep things fun and light during spring break. Always be sure to drink responsibly and don't drink and drive. Also, stay socially distant and wear a mask when going out. But before you have too much fun, Hannah has some dates for you to mark down in today's MATC Minute.
Looking for a way to help out the community? The Neighborhood House of Milwaukee's food pantry is looking for donations of dinner grains like boxed mac and cheese, instant rice, and pasta. To learn more, visit neighborhoodhousemke.org. It's no joke, the Milwaukee Brewers are playing their home opener in what I'm required to refer to as American Family Field on Thursday, April 1st. By reducing capacity to 25%, the stadium will open its doors to spectators for the first time since September of 2019. And for the local comedy fans, Milwaukee Comedy and local vintage retailer Dandy present a Dandy Comedy Show Friday, April 9th at 8. The show features the best in stand-up performed in Milwaukee's only hybrid vintage store/event space. Visit Milwaukee Comedy's Facebook for details. Lastly, a reminder for students eligible for graduation, don't forget to submit your applications via self-service by this Wednesday, March 31st.
With spring just around the corner, the weather is going to get nicer. When you live in a state like Wisconsin, it's very important to enjoy it while it's around. Student producer Matt Rick talks about a great way you can get outside this spring with this week's geMKE.
I'm student producer Matt Rick, and you're about to watch another hidden geMKE. With the weather warming up here in Wisconsin, more people are going to be adventuring outside and looking for things to do. Right here in the heart of downtown is the perfect place for you and your family to walk and see the views of the city while also getting some good exercise. The Milwaukee Riverwalk is a 3-mile walk that follows the Milwaukee River. It begins by the Old North Avenue Dam and goes all the way through the heart of the city and ends in the historic 3rd Ward. Along the walk, people can stop at certain points along the way to check out Milwaukee's hidden gems, such as the Bronze Fountains. There are also a bunch of restaurants located along the Riverwalk that you can stop in and get some good food. For a city being located on Lake Michigan, it is no surprise that the city of Milwaukee loves being out on the water. You can hop on a boat and take a skyline cruise down the Milwaukee River. Also, for more sporty people, you can rent a kayak and kayak your way down the river and find secret treasures along the way. At the end of the Riverwalk, you can get a great view of the Hone Bridge. The city recently added a new feature to the bridge that makes the bridge shine. That concludes this week's episode of Hidden geMKE. Make sure you get up and get active this spring.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks, Dr. Goss and Heidi, for joining us. And thank you so much for another episode.
Thank you, Hannah. I had a great time co-hosting this week.
Well, thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm still Hannah Tahtinen. Have a great spring break.